Someone said I finished 34th. Not good, not atrocious. It feels like a road race, so this feels like going back in time. I haven't done a European road race since 2015. What's old is new again. So here we are in Halmstad, Sweden. It is mid-August. Typically I'd be back in the States racing in something like Steamboat. However, things are a little bit different. About halfway through the year this year, it became a goal to qualify for the Gravel World Championships, the UCI Gravel World Championships, which are taking place in Belgium in early October. So given the way the calendar works, given the way the qualification works, here we are in Sweden. There was one qualifier in the United States, and I had an event that weekend. There was one qualifier in Toronto. I had an event that weekend. So had things gone a little bit differently, had I planned my year differently, I probably would have prioritized those to be making my way to the Gravel Worlds. But you know, the season's an adventure, and the calendar is an adventure. So about halfway through the year, when it became a priority to make it to the Gravel World Championships, I was looking at the calendar, and yeah, Sweden seemed like a really great opportunity. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking to have that kind of pressure. I mean, it's a one-shot deal to qualify. So you know, the criteria is you finish the top 25% of the elite field. It's a pretty deep field. So on one hand, that's to your benefit to have a larger pool of riders to finish in the top 25. Alternatively, I mean, I recognize a ton of the names, and it is a whole bunch of Europe's best gravel racers. So it's anyone's guess. I mean, I've done the work, I've done the training, I've done quite a bit of recon now, so you know, we just wait. My race came apart when we were going from a big wide gravel road into single track. There was a crash there. Big split in the group when I was on the wrong side of that, and played chase as best I could, but I mean, going to the World Championships was a goal, but it wasn't this pillar upon which everything lived for the whole 2024. I got on the phone with Laura with a little bit of angst. At this point, I'd sort of assumed that it was long enough from which I sent in the application that I probably wasn't going to get the call. So I call her up and I say, hey, I think that I can go. I have the opportunity to go. And we had some poor reception at that point. She calls me back probably 1 minute later, having just checked her email, and she also got in. She very much adamantly said, this has been a goal, you have to go no matter what. And then when she called me back, she's like, oh, I also got that message that I can go. And yeah, it looks like we're gonna go back to Europe.
I definitely did not have Gravel Worlds on my radar at the beginning of this year, and I'm surprised to say that it became on my radar and that I brought such excitement to and a goal kind of to go after. And there were a lot of logistics that needed to be figured out that we just decided, okay, well, we're in, now we figure out the details. And from square one of figuring out our childcare, figuring out travel and getting there and finding somewhere to do our shakeout ride immediately off the flight, just everything seemed to be seamless.
My mom came in a really big way and swooped in and stayed here at our house and watched the kids, and that was just an enormous sense of relief, so that we could go back to Europe and solely focus on the race as a couple, not think about parenting, not think about the other adventures of being a family on the road.
And not upset because
plus minus game. Are you going to be making up positions, losing positions, breaking? Very glasses on. All right. Hold on. All right, we're en route from the start to feed zone number 4. That's about 43 miles into the race. So, yeah, smooth sailing so far. Plus, we've had many coffees, as is the role of the staff member.
I gained energy from seeing progress throughout the race. So by the time the race was over, I was on cloud 9. It was such a thrill and an honor to be amongst all the people I consider my cycling heroes.
Disadvantage of not having a team bus like in my former life is the porta potties are your go-to bathroom. If yesterday is any indication, there is no toilet paper in the bathroom. I expect a little bit of everything. You know, in Roubaix, you do 100 kilometers of straightforward racing before you hit the first cobble section. This is a sector at 300 meters in, 200 meters in, so it's almost like just immediately into the scrum. It's really hard for anyone to say exactly what it's going to be like. I mean, that's gravel. It's like you're going to say, shoot, I have the wrong tires at some point. I have the wrong bike at some point. You're going to be want to be on a road bike. You're going to be prefer to be on a mountain bike at some point. But it's sort of run what you brung and enjoy what you got. Feels like a different sport from North American gravel or even from the other European gravel races I've done, the Traka or Sweden. But it's still at the end of the day, it's like, well, we're all doing the same thing. We all are accustomed to riding a bike fast and in a group, so. When you're laying in bed, jet lagged, night after night leading up to the race, you can't help but have nerves come into your mind and think about worst case scenario. Like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna finish way the heck back because I'm starting way the heck back. So on the opposite side of that spectrum, things actually continually worked better and better throughout the day. So happy enough. Laura asked me not too long afterwards, did I really appreciate being back in the throngs to ride through a town square where there are 25,000 people? It is special, and it is something that I've missed without even knowing it. Gravel is what you make of it wherever you are. You know, it's a little bit complex, it's a little bit interesting course. Ideally, you throw a little dirt on the course, but I mean, you can make gravel courses anywhere.
The first thing I thought when I crossed the finish line is, how do I get this opportunity again? I think also had a baby 2 years ago, so just in the span of 2 years, it's great to feel the progress of feeling good fitness again, and I think that helps elevate an experience too. The
year was very much process-based. There are results that live in my mind that I didn't put terribly publicly because I feel like you kind of set yourself up for disaster if they don't go well. You know, there's also the realistic factor. Like if I say, okay, I want to finish top 25 and Unbound, that doesn't sound very impressive. I mean, I'm still a racer, right? I want to not only be on the podium when Unbound, I want to win that race. And I went there with that intention. In every other race that I enter. It's complicated being a 41-year-old father of two, but I love racing. I love the process. I love getting fit. I love getting up in January and getting after it. I feel like outside of Keegan, everybody wants to be finishing higher. So I'm really happy with it. I've had such a good time this year doing it. I also don't want to purely publicize that it's been this great year and everything has gone great. I'm still incredibly driven. Like if anything, this year has taught me that I want to do this again.